Okay, so obviously the O negatives. I was going on a tangent. I want to get back on focus. You know how I am with focus. I had my coffee. So if I do a video after I drink my coffee, generally I tend to, sometimes my focus is off, which some of you denote all the time. Anyway, so with clones, we have clones that are mostly, clones are created to uphold an agenda. They are brought in, and they are brought in a lot of times to maintain the matrix agenda. And again, you know, people are like, why you bring up non-melanated, melanated? Melanation protects the cells, and everybody has melanation to a certain degree. Those who are highly melanated, their melanin spills onto their skin, their color on the top of their surface of their skin. But a lot, that's what I'm saying, not all seemingly unmelanated people don't have melanation inside. So, you know, but when you're highly melanated, where you see it on the outside, your cells are protected from any insertion of any encoding into your DNA. It protects your cells from being penetrated by any outside forces to create, to deviate your genetics. Whereas if you have a lack of melanation on your cells, and it's not enclosed in melanin, then what happens is that you're able to, dabble with the DNA and with the genetic makeup of that individual, and you can insert certain things into their consciousness, into their you can encode into their cells certain agendas. That's why it's very important to know what you're dealing with, to know people's now family. If you can remember, I don't know, you know, I'm of a certain age, so even previous to me, my mom and dad, when they got married, you had to have your blood type. They had their blood, they disclosed their blood type, and it was very important at the time before you got married to know each other's blood type. Why is that being omitted now? Like, I'll ask people their blood type, and there's quite a few people who don't even know their blood type. That's crazy. Now, in Asian culture, in the Japanese culture, it's very important for them to know blood type, because it actually denotes their propensities, their natural propensities. Like certain blood types are very good at are good at certain facets of life. They do well in certain commerce. So it's very important. And I noticed in Japanese culture, they really have a focus in life on people's DNA and their blood type, and they deal with you according to your blood type a lot of time. Why is that something that we are totally omitting? Though previously we were into blood types. We would not marry someone of a different blood type. And remember, family, if a mother gives birth, O negative cannot carry another seed. If O negative was an original blood type, that blood type would be able to carry any baby. Any O negative carries another blood type inside of her womb. That baby will die unless she gets a shot to help maintain that birth. Meaning that O negative is not the original blood type. So for those, I've noticed a lot of people, there's a lot of O negative blood type groups that are promoting some untrue statements and unscientifically based data. No, if you are O negative, you are absolutely not an original. If you were an original, you would be able to give birth naturally without any assistance, and you would be able to give birth to many of the other blood types inside of your womb. The fact that a mother who's O negative most likely has most issues with giving birth naturally, and if she has any other blood type inside of her womb, she will kill that baby. That means she's not an original. O positive can have a baby of any blood type, and that baby will be safe inside of her womb. So I'm just, for those who are confused on that, I'm just giving you you can look that up. I could be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I always say, don't ever take someone's word, take some of the information I'm giving you and then absolutely go on a run and find out yourself. You'll find out the truth. The truth is never in someone's statement, but it may invoke you to look and search for the truth. So anyway, so the clones are walking around. And to denote a clone has a lot of the qualities of empty seeders too. They lack empathy naturally. They have a hard time deviating from the norm. So, they pretty much follow the matrix standards, whether it's being go to school every day, try to be the best. Or, it doesn't always have to be on the higher tiers of the matrix. It could be on the lower tiers of the matrix. That's what I'm saying. Be mindful. Clones come in every community, just like empty seeders. They're not just clones in the higher tiers of our society. They reside in the lower tiers too. And that's meant to keep everything agenda-based. Okay? So those are the qualities of empty seeders and clones. Some clones are biobots too. We have some clones that are walking around that are actually bio-organic bots. They have some technology in their genealogy. And those are the ones that, like, if there's an influx in the magnetic field, they like they have glitches and whatnot. They're affected, like if we have lightning storms and so on, you'll see them glitch. We have some clones that'll come out when the environment starts, like, especially we're having a lot of earthquakes and a lot of volcanic eruptions going on and the magnetic field is shifting. You're starting to see clones come out of the works because they're not able to handle the different energies, because they're really biobots. They're usually running on a certain frequency with the lower elf waves, and that lower elf waves are being highly altered, and the clones are glitching out. You'll see people going through like mental, it looks like mental breakdowns. They're starting to go crazy. Okay, so that's the clones and the empty seeders. Now, we have a lot of walk-ins going on lately, and you need to be able to pay attention to that very closely. If you don't know what a walk-in is, a walk-in could be good. Let's not judge it. It could be, walk-ins have different agendas, and walk-ins are coming from every different facet of our galactic part of they could have a galactic insert. Like they can come from a walk-in could be sorry, family, I gotta search for the words. Walk-ins could be incarnates, entities that are on the outside, in the outer dimensions, that are living and they're vampiric or parasitic. They feed off of the energy, especially negative, low vibrational energy. They actually are surviving on us on the outer dimensions, fourth dimension particularly, because they don't raise any higher than that. They're stuck in the lower realms, third dimension, lower, second dimension. They're very, very low, but they feed off of the energies. That's how they exist. They feed off of the negative energies. They can actually feed off of a soul so much, so that if they're consistently feeding off of one individual a lot, and based on the low vibration, let's say someone is a drug addict and they're consistently in a low frequency, that particular incarnate, it could be one or many, will try to, as they're feeding, they can feel an opening in that person's vortex, and they can enter that person and attempt to take over that vessel. Now, they can't fully control that vessel unless that vessel is basically deteriorated to the point where it's practically, that soul is practically non-existent anymore. And even when they get inside, the walk-in will have a hard time existing with that soul still being present, unless that soul is totally dissipated and is almost pretty much gone. And it's hard for a walk-in to get in there if that body, because remember, the body is so depreciated as well, and if the body's that low, it may not even last long enough to have a walk-in stay in it before it passes away. But there are walk-ins now, because our environment is drug-ridden. It has been very low vibrational, and walk-ins are finding it a lot easier to get in. Now, like I said, there's parasitic type of walk-ins, and there are also higher realm walk-ins where there's been an agreement on a higher level that at one point, if the person has completed whatever, goals, spiritual goals that they had, and they've accomplished it, they may opt to, cash in their chips and leave, and allow another higher entity, a more positive entity, to come in and to perhaps illuminate it, utilize that vessel to do some good on the planet, and to become like almost like a lantern of positivity, and to bring in another agenda of bringing light and higher frequency on the planet. That happens. That's less of what you'll see on the planet. Any walk-ins that you're generally seeing on a mass level now, you're starting to see a lot of incarnates and a lot of parasitic entities walking into people, because we're living in a society that is very drug-based right now, and the pharmaceuticals, most people are living on pharmaceuticals as their daily regimen right now. And remember, sugar. If you don't have, if you saw my video on parasites, you'll see sugar is also a desire. Many parasites live off of sugar, which, alcohol is distilled sugar. That's one of their main sources of source of food, especially the worms and the little parasites that are living within. Those entities on the outside also enjoy the elixirs of alcohol. And once they get into you, they start to drive you to do things that would keep them happy and contented. And what you'll notice with walk-ins, you may have a mate who's been on drugs for many, many years, and all of a sudden, even though you're with them every day, all of a sudden they just switch up, and their behavior changes, their likes and needs. They may want to go somewhere else and do something else. They may just leave their families and go and do something totally different. That's a walk-in. Usually that's an indication of a walk-in. Like when one day you see a person and they're the same person you've known for years, and then all of a sudden, and then almost like in a blink of an eye, or not even in a blink of an eye. That's if it happens quickly. But usually there's a process that happens. Like you start to see them slip away and you're not recognizing them anymore. And then all of a sudden, the person that you recognize, you don't even see remnants of them anymore. They're a totally different individual. Like even when you look at them, you're like, I don't really know you. You ever look at someone like you've known them for years and you're like, who are you? A lot of wives. Yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of walk-ins right now. So you have to be mindful, family, that walk-ins come in, and a lot of them now that are coming in are demonic, incarnates, individuals from the fourth dimension that have been able to get a hold of that vessel. Stay clear of them. Walk-ins they come from a lower realm, and they are up to no good. And if you see any of the news or anything, if you consider television to be real, anything negative happening on the news or walk-ins or paid crisis actors. So please don't pay attention. So we have, I'm sorry, I go on tangents. We have walk-ins, which are, could be higher realmed beings. And if you see a walk-in, if they're, all of a sudden they used to be, pretty normal people, or maybe even people that were almost like, normal people, and then all of a sudden they're enlightening. They want to help the planet. They start recycling and stuff like that, or they start to lobby for life and for animal rights or women's rights. That's a positive walk-in. Obviously, I don't have to tell you that. The negative walk-ins are a little more covert, and they may hide it a little bit, especially if they know that they're not from here and they've walked into a body. They'll try to pretend like they're still in that world, but you'll notice a lot of their propensities have changed. You'll notice that they've changed. A lot of their, they'll have weird sexual desires that come out of left field. These are, if you have a walk-in that's a partner of yours, you notice that some of their behavior sexually will change, become more perverse, more demonic, more lower vibrational, maybe more sadomasochistic. That's a sign that you have a walk-in in your mate. And, some of the criteria to have a vessel that may be eligible for walk-in is just being either very sick, whether it be you have a disease or something depreciative to your genetics, or you're an alcoholic, a serious alcoholic or a drug addict. And when I say you're a drug addict, it means you could be addicted to sugar to no levels and you're highly overweight or something like that. That's another form of addiction. If you suffer from addiction, you could be targeted as a walk-in possibility. Okay? So we have walk-ins here, we have clones, and we also have empty seaters. Not everything that you're seeing people are souls walking around here. You're seeing a lot of different entities, and I don't want to judge, because not everybody here was meant to be a soul. There are entities here that are here to observe, to see what it is when a soul is ascending to another level. So there are some observers here. We have props walking around. And please, please, please don't be invoked by what's going on television. Anything you're seeing on television is entertainment. Unless you were there or you are partaking in whatever activity that they are disclosing, you have no idea if that's real. I'm honestly telling you that, people, they have crisis actors all over the place. And I feel for any of the individuals that are dealing with what may be occurring in Baltimore. But remember, I would question certain things. If things are going on as you are observing on television. Now, again, if you're living in Baltimore and you are seeing what's going on and you can personally tell someone, or you know someone personally who's going through that, I'm talking about like you know them, like Uncle Jack is living in Baltimore right now during the riots, and he's calling your mom or yourself every day and saying, oh Lord, there's chaos going on the street. Unless you have that first bird's eye view, I would question any legitimacy in everything you see on television. Okay? Because even if something's happening, they will spin it, clip it, and put it on television so you are invoked in a certain way. Okay? From what I know from certain individuals also, some of the youth are being paid to, the youth that you see are acting out of sorts. Melanated youth, some of them are being paid from other neighborhoods, not even the neighborhoods that you're seeing the riots occurring in, from other neighborhoods, sometimes $250 to more to go in there and act a fool. So that's what I'm saying. Be mindful of what you, I'm sorry, I'm throwing off my shoes. They were bothering me. Be mindful of what you are observing. What you observe is somebody else's spin, and television was created to create hypnosis. It was a form of mind control. The tube was created for mind control. So if you're watching what's going on, unless, like I said, unless you are living in Baltimore and you are particularly connected to someone there who is seeing it, telling you first hand view, I'd question the legitimacy of everything you're seeing there. I'm not saying it's not occurring, but I won't tell you that it is. Okay? And make sure whatever you focus on, you manifest. So be mindful of looking at things and creating, looking at something and having an opinion about it, because as soon as you do, you bring that in your frame of consciousness and then you'll end up manifesting it in your life. Just be mindful. I warned you. Okay? We are to stay positive. The planet is changing. We have a new home court advantage for our new particular people that have been depreciated for a long period of time. So I say, congratulations, melanated people. Your ancestors have returned, and the invocation in your DNA will make you feel like you're being supported by your galactic family, and it is true. Okay, so what's happening now is all the tyranny and the depreciation and the abuse and all the things that have happened against the melanated people is going into reverse right now, and you're starting to see melanated people, some melanated people, copper, indigenous, brown, Asiatic, Latino. You're starting to see an invocation and an uprising in their consciousness, an awakening, a massive awakening. And how people wake up shows up differently for everyone, okay? So just try not to pay attention there. I just wanted to give a video today based on the criteria of some of the different entities around us. You have to be mindful because not everybody here is a soul. And if you are hanging or associating with people of low vibration, you're going to bring that element into your life, and you'll make yourself susceptible to infiltration or depreciation based on people, places, and things, right? Don't they tell alcoholics in that part of the 12 step, people, places, and things? Well, be mindful. Okay, so if you have, listen, if you have uncles, aunties, grandmas, mamas who are engaged in low vibrational activity, I just say distance yourself. If you are a conscious person and trying to uplift yourself in your life and trying to make it to the next level of higher consciousness and to ascend to a new level on this planet with Mother Terra, Mother Earth, Mother Gaia. you're going to have to separate yourself from those people lovingly, with love. You know, nothing's personal right now. If we came on this planet, most of us came on our own, and this is about your own self-elevation. And we shouldn't look to leaders. The leader is within yourself. If anybody's looking at any of the melanated people are calling for leaders, you know, we had the time frame when we were taught to be leaders. We had many wonderful teachers, master teachers, who taught us how to engage in the world and love ourselves. And right now, the leader that you should be looking for is within yourself. The outer world will not give you the leader. The leader is in yourself. Be that leader for yourself and your clan and your people. Everybody leads themselves, okay? Come from a higher realm of consciousness, and just be mindful of the clones, walk-ins, empty seaters. Because some of those props will get in your way. Just keep it moving, you know, walk around the props, you know, engage in the world with caution. And I'm giving you a little bit of information so that you'll absolutely know how to engage with some of these entities. And I don't mean to talk about the blood types, people. You know, I know we have some O negatives and O positives. I'm not saying that O positives are all the bomb and wonderful and great people, but there is a difference between the blood types, and you need to start getting your blood types, people, because I know the hospitals aren't giving the babies their blood types anymore with the parents. It used to be on your birth certificate, and I'm noticing a lot of mothers are coming home now and they don't know their baby's blood type. That's odd. Request it, ladies. You're going in to give birth, that blood type should be on there, and you should not leave the hospital, you know, if you're giving birth in hospitals, which, you know, you don't, you know, if you're healthy, you can, there's alternatives that are healthy if you want to have a healthy baby. But if you're in the hospital, you can, that's number one thing you should have when you leave, is the time of your child's birth, and also the weight, everything, you know, the name and the blood type. Okay, know your baby's blood type. And on Amazon, it's like $9 and change. Go get your blood type taken, okay? And I think why they're not giving blood types anymore, if you want my opinion, is because we got blood types that are not even nameable. We probably have blood types that are like Z, P. We got clones. We got a lot of hybrids that some of these ETs created. Maybe they don't want to know maybe they don't want you to find out that your baby is probably a hybrid and your baby daddy ain't really your baby's daddy. He may look like the daddy. He might have some genomes from another galaxy. So I'm just saying, get your baby's blood types, start finding out your stuff. And again, you know, I just see, you know, some misinformation about O negatives all the time, that the galactic beings. I disagree. I think that the O negatives are actually clones and hybrids. And they are absolutely not, because again, if you're O negative and you don't have melanation, you're not coming from the galactic family. All the galactic families are melanated. And you might come from some of the entities from the inner earth, but I don't believe you come, you know, anyway, I don't want to get into that. Anyway, I made my video. I'm done. I talked too much. I had too much coffee, but I gotta go. So we'll get into it. I'll go more into blood types and things like that, but I want you to engage in the world with integrity and know what you're dealing with, okay? Because we got a lot of things going on here. And to the melanated people, yay, celebrate. They're back. The ancestors, and all that abuse and stuff is going to have to is not going to be allowed anymore. And for all those that are non-melanated, start being nicer to your brethren on earth, and don't silence is banter for injustice. Don't allow another individual to be abused and killed without you standing up for them. Because if you don't do it for them, when it comes your time, you may not have anybody advocating for you. All right? Peace out. Love you. Fleur Brune.